Grasping at nothing, I let my arm drop down by my side. What the frick was that? Jump scares? And my heartfelt visual novel? What the frick was that? Oh, okay. Hi. Dude, not another robot story that's gonna make me cry. Dude, please. I can't handle another one. How's it going, everybody? HoodlaMutt here with Atri, My Dear Moments. Oh man, so this is the next visual novel that was voted on in the community tab. And so as we wait for Chaos Head to finally get its Committee of Zero patch that we've been waiting for, we're going to play this one. It's supposed to have at least a similar length to Planetarian, and if the content is anything like Planetarian, I will probably fall apart, because oh my gosh, I did not think a visual novel could do what Planetarian did to me. I will be very honest, I did not expect just that complete breakdown that I had with Planetarian. I know nothing about Atri. I know nothing at all. It's completely just, I literally just, I think, picked it up one day because it was on sale and it had good reviews. Know nothing more than that, other than that it's made, the people that made it are the same people that made, what's that one called? The Fruits of Grisea or something like that? The Fruit of Grisea, I believe, which seems to be another visual novel that was made. Okay, I thought that was just an anime, but maybe they made it into an anime. And it is written by Atsuda Kano, who also wrote the If My Heart Had Wings visual novel, apparently. So that's interesting. But yeah, that's literally about all I know, is just that information. I don't know if this is sad or if it's going to be just heartfelt or what it's going to be. So, I don't even know what the content really is. What I do know is that for some reason, in a game that was dropped in 2020, I'll have you know, the resolution only goes up to 720p. Who makes a game in 2020 with the max resolution at 1280 by 720? There is no way to even fluctuate it. Anyway, so without further ado, without any more complaining or guessing about anything, let's just get into this, shall we?
This world is sinking. It is being swallowed up by the rising seas. Humanity has less and less land to live on, and the technological advances they have made are being lost. I remember a time when they seemed content to peacefully accept their extinction. It was then that I met him. He said that if he couldn't save the world, he wouldn't be saved. I asked him a question. Does the world include me?
Okay.
I will look over this planet.
Oh, that's an interesting image.
I will watch it sink. And I will watch them as they fight back against their fate. Here, in this infinite loneliness. Time is a cruel thief to rob us of our former selves. We lose as much to life as we do to death.
Wow, it's beautiful, just to start off with, even though it's 720. I mean, this is like gorgeous artwork. I am surrounded by endless darkness. Not a single ray of light illuminates my path as I crawl through the gloom, praying for an exit that may not even exist. But as hard as I try, I cannot move. My leg is crushed beneath a dreadful weight, completely trapped. Searing agony radiates through my body. Please! Mom! Someone! Help! My hands scrabble around in the dirt, reaching out for anyone, anything. But they find nothing. It hurts! It hurts! Somebody! Save me! I awaken suddenly to the sight of my hand, stretched out toward the low ceiling of my room. Grasping at nothing, I let my arm drop down by my side. What the frick was that? Jump scares? And my heartfelt visual novel? What the frick was that? And then I feel it. My body twists and contorts as an intense pain throbs in my right leg. Oh, goodness gracious. After a few torturous seconds, it disappears as if it was never there in the first place. I lay limply back on the bed, trying to slow my breathing. My body is coated in a clammy layer of sweat. I must have fallen asleep. I raise my head and look down at my leg. Or at least, where it should be. The very same right leg that just a moment ago was pulsing with agony is as non-existent as it has been for the past 8 years. Oh my gosh! And yet, it still hurts. The empty space where my flesh should be still torments me. There are no nerves there to send signals to my brain, but my mind still will not accept the truth. They call it phantom pain. It started to flare up again lately. Phantom pain isn't affected by regular painkillers. I mean, of course it isn't. It's all an illusion. Pain emanating from nerves that don't even exist. A doctor would prescribe antidepressants, but their side effects could be even worse than the pain. Not that a doctor would be able to get their hands on those these days. Oh my goodness, what the frick, bro? It's kind of real, man. I simply have to live in constant dread of the next attack. So, you know, the sad thing is, I don't know if any of you guys know anyone that's like this, but I actually know someone who is an amputee who had their arm taken off, and they mentioned this, how this phantom pain really happens like this, and I can only imagine, you know, that is so sad that you can't even do anything about it because your brain is just like it has something to do with like your brain thinks that it should be there, that appendage that it knows used to be there, so it sends receptors like wherever the amputation is stopped at, it sends like pain signals there to try and like, I can't remember if it's like to wake the ligament up or if it's like to wake up like it's, in other words, it's to try and say like, hey, where are you? What are you doing? Why are you not moving? You know, it's the same thing like when you start to fall asleep and your body jolts awake. It's because your body literally thinks you're dying. So your brain sends a signal to your body to jerk it to wake it up because your breathing is slowing down so quickly that it thinks that you're losing oxygen. Yeah, if any of you have that, or if you know anyone like that, like literally, like my prayers go out to you, because oh my gosh, that is such a horrible thing to have to live with. I literally cannot imagine what that is like. The gentle sunlight leaking through the portholes stabs at my eyes. It must be morning. No point lying around here, I suppose. Oh! I hear a sudden, satisfying crunch from somewhere across the room. Hello? Were you just watching me? Who are you?
You awake? Didn't look like you were having a nice time in dreamland there.
Oh! I look over to find a young woman chopping pieces off an apple with a penknife.
Jeez, you've got a resting jerk face at the best of times. But it sure is bad when you've just woken up. You could make a kid cry if you looked at them like that.
Okay. This is interesting. Why are you just chilling there? Who the heck? Oh. Really nice to hear that from a woman who sneaks into someone else's room and steals their breakfast. Oh, okay, so I was gonna say, I thought maybe she was like our sister and we were living with her. No, she just snuck in here. Who the heck? Apparently we're her friend, though. Lifting myself up from the sweat-streaked sheets, I sit on the edge of my bed and reach for my prosthetic leg. Oh, dang, dude. Yo. I'm not gonna lie, though, that's a sick-looking prosthetic. That looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. But gosh, that sucks. Naturally, a prosthetic leg is supposed to be built to fit an individual's body. But this one wasn't made specifically for me. It's an old second-hand model, not just ill-fitting, but on the verge of breaking too. It's better than nothing, though. These days, it's possible to get cybernetic legs that can be controlled by nerve signals, or even full cybernetic implants. Unfortunately, those are far, far out of my price range right now. I place my stump into the socket and tighten the straps around it. When I try moving the joint, it lets out an ominous creak. I fiddle with its screws and give it a little oil. Gosh, yeah, I wasn't even thinking. Like, I don't know how all prosthetic legs work in other ligaments, but you probably have to... You have to maintain those, don't you? I don't even think about that, you know? Like you just said, you have to give it oil. Like, that sucks, man. The weather out there this morning is looking bright and clear, with a mid-southwesterly breeze. The radio I'd switched on before I laid down is still blaring. I go through the motions of keeping my decrepit old leg working while half listening to the drone of the announcer's voice. The rocket has been hailed by some as representing a bold new hope for humanity, but citizens have been raising concerns that...
I hope they actually launch this one.
They will.
Well, here's hoping. But they've got the time to mess about launching fireworks. Maybe they could actually help the people with their problems too, huh?
They've got the bigger picture in mind. If they don't work to assure we've got a future, what's the point of fixing whatever bullcrap the common person's got going on? Ugh. There's no point trying to get philosophical with you, I know. I push my foot down, getting a feel for the leg. The joint's moving a little more smoothly now.
Nice weather we've got today. Perfect for diving. Want to get started?
Diving? The frick? What are you talking about? At least let me have breakfast first. It's only when I finished my sentence that I remember that my apple's already long gone. Dude, okay, again, the artwork in this freaking slaps, bro. This is pretty, dude. Oh my goodness.
Hello?
Another female voice calls out, this time from off my ship. Hey, whoa, hey! You think this content is free? Well, I mean, it is, but that's besides the point. You need to pay your ruffian taxes.
What do you mean, taxes? I watch your videos to escape real life.
You know exactly what I mean. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't, ring the bell to get notified when I drop more content, and leave a comment. Thanks for watching and enjoy the video, okay? Alright, bye-bye. Oh, okay. Gosh dang, look how pretty that water is, dude. Oh.
Natsu-kun? Maybe he's asleep. I wish he'd put a doorbell on this thing.
Hey.
Oh, Natsu-kun! Wait! Who are you?
That's my line.
Well, I'm Kamishiro Minamo. I'm a friend of Natsu-kun's.
Huh. That kid's got friends? Is she older? How much older is she? I thought she was like the same age as us.
So, could I ask who you are?
Me? Well, you know, I guess I'm like his wife.
Wife? His W-I-F-E wife?
Don't listen to her. She's just your average apple-pinching intruder.
So, who actually are you?
I'm his business partner. Why are you here, Minamo?
I've come to take you to school, Natsu-kun. You haven't turned up at all ever since you transferred here.
Aw, she's kind of wholesome, dude. Okay, she's trying to help us out. So, we know her, at least, so that's interesting. Before I can say anything, Catherine has already opened her big mouth. Unfortunately, my little partner here's got a job to do. A job that's going to make us both very, very rich. So, you just run along to school now, sweetie. Alright, Catherine's kind of cool. I like Catherine so far. Minamo flinches and almost tears up as a slight glare is flashed her way. If you're not doing anything else, you can help us out. An extra pair of hands would be useful.
I just said that I'm going to school, though?
What's the point in that? School makes you dumb. Yo, preach, bro! Let's go! I mean, this probably takes place in, like, Japan, but in terms of American education systems, brother, that is more based than anything else I've heard in a while. So, alright. Natsuki's pretty cool. We like him, alright.
I thought it was supposed to make you smarter. Hey, wait! Natsu-kun!
Alright, this is kind of cute. It's very kinetic, dude. This is far more kinetic than some of the other ones we've been watching, so. Or reading, I mean. The ship rumbles its way away from the pier and stops a little distance from the shore. This seems like the place. This is giving me a certain show that I've watched vibe. I can't think of what I'm thinking of, but it's making me think of a anime that I watched. I'm trying to think. I think it's called The Lull in the Sea or something like that, if I remember correctly. It's giving me like that kind of a vibe though. Deep in the translucent waters, I can see the shadow of something man-made. She came with us.
Aw, man. I ended up coming along anyway. I should be at school.
Minamo grumbles to herself as she stares out at the endless expanse of blue. I climb down from the deck, toward the other vessel the ship is towing. I open the hatch on the large egg-like craft bobbing up and down in the waves. Minamo, when I close the hatch, disengage the clamps. You know how to do that, right?
Of course I don't.
I'll teach you. Come over here. I'll need you to operate the crane too. If you've got any questions, ask Catherine.
Is this thing even seaworthy? It's got rust all over it.
I'm not going to be diving too deep. A little bit of leakage isn't anything to worry about. Are you sure? Gosh, okay, you're braver than me. I freaking hate the ocean. I think it's pretty, and I like ships and stuff. I always wanted to go on like one of those old sailing ships, you know, from like colonial days or something. I always thought it'd be fun just to feel what that was like. But I have no desire to go anywhere under the ocean, brother. At any point in time. You will never catch me going into the ocean for a nice little dip, okay? Maybe get my feet wet, that's about it. I have heard too many horror stories of bad things. You know, I don't care how often sharks bite and stuff like that. I don't freaking care, dude. I ain't taking that risk, brother.
Seriously? Won't it sink?
Right. Here goes. I duck down inside the sub and close the hatch behind me. Interesting. I take my seat at the controls and pump the choke lever until I hear the engine sputter to life. I tap all of the gauges to check they're working, and signal to Minamo out of the small window in the top of the sub. Okay, disengage the clamps. Minamo flaps her arms back at me with a troubled expression. Sorry, I can't hear what you're saying. I can't hear her through the glass, and her arm movements don't communicate anything except possibly frightened goose. Better signal to Catherine instead. Grinning like a demon plunging a sinner into the depths of hell, she disengages the lock. Alright, I like Catherine. She's my favorite so far. I feel the sub sway as it floats freely in the water. I call out through the radio. Okay, lower the crane.
Roger.
I tug on the control stick and the sub's manipulator arms grasp the crane's hook. I attach it to the eyelet? Oh, okay, the eyelet on top of the egg. Venting the ballast tanks. The sea around the sub ripples with bubbles as the tanks empty out their air and replace it with water. The rotund little ship starts to gradually submerge as it grows heavy with ballast. Dude, this is sick, man. The color outside the window darkens from the baby blue of the sky to the deep aqua of the sea. The submarine, Serpens albus, slowly sinks into the water, glistening in the morning sun. Interesting. So we're like, are we like junkers again, basically? Oh. Huh? Oh. Dude, that's sick. The little ship slowly and silently drifts through the sea. It sinks deeper and deeper. Before long, the rusty joints of its hull start to creak under the pressure. Dude, that would freak me the frick out, dude. This would scare me so bad. I could never be in the Navy, dude. Not if I had to be in a submarine, dude. I would be always panicking, dude. There is no way, man. You're already hurting at this depth? This might be a problem after all. Minamo's doubts seem to be contagious. The Serpens albus is a pretty old ship. It's supposed to be capable of going a few hundred meters down, but I can't help but feel that if I tried to go that deep now, I'd end up the size of a basketball. Thankfully, I'm not heading down anywhere that deep. It'll be a couple of dozen meters at most. The light outside grows dimmer, and soon all that I can see beyond the window is a dark navy. I didn't even ask before, I wasn't even thinking, but where did they get this ship? He said he doesn't go to school. What do they do for work to be able to get stuff like this? Maybe this is like an inherited ship, that's why it's so old or something? Huh, okay. I cruised through the lonely waters, toward the treasure I seek. I came to this town because I had nothing left. I'd lost everything. I lived here once as a child, left in the care of my grandmother. But when I returned after 8 years, the scenery was unrecognizable. The beautiful coastal town I remembered was gone. There it is. What's that? Sunken beneath the waves. Oh my gosh, it's a town! Whoa, that's okay, wow. Oh my gosh. Buried here at the bottom of the ocean is a town that just a few years ago was teeming with people. The sight of the buildings shimmering in the sunlight, piercing the waters, is uncanny. It's like time has stopped. This town was not the only one to be enveloped by the sea. When the waters around the world suddenly began to rise, entire cities were plunged into this limbo. No one knows why. Scientists posited that it might be climate change, or some kind of movement in the Earth's crust, but no one can say for sure. Yeah, this is like far different than like climate change if it happened that quick. This is like worldwide flood territory type stuff. I mean, did they say it happened around the world, or was it just like here? Either way, that type of flooding is not typical, even with the theories of climate change. But, whatever. All we really know is that the sea levels suddenly began to rise inexorably, swallowing up more and more land. The mysterious phenomenon brought humanity to its knees, almost entirely destroying our civilization. They say we've entered the twilight of our species, and it's hard to disagree. Oh my gosh, so maybe it is worldwide, okay. Jeez Louise, okay, that's kind of scary. The population had already started to drop before I was born, and by the time I became aware of the world, it was already doomed. Even though I lived through the terror of the Great Sea Rise, I don't really have any conception of the supposed times of plenty that adults talk about. They're always droning on about the past and other bullcrap. But this is the only world I've ever known. Something inside me makes me want to blame the state of this planet on them. As I sit there, lost in my thoughts, a transmission comes through my radio.
How is it going, kid?
Great. I'll be arriving at the target soon. After a moment's lag, the reply comes.
Nice. Let's get what we need, and then we can get the heck out of this hole.
The lag's a necessary annoyance, given that radio waves don't pass through water too easily. All of our communications are converted into high-frequency sound waves, which travel slower. If you want to get out of here so much, why not find some other job? You don't want to die a debt collector, do you?
When I'm done with this case, I'll consider it.
Just as I'm about to get back to work, another voice comes over the radio.
Natsuko!
What's wrong? You sound like you're about to burst into tears.
Are you okay? Is this ship still all right? You're not sinking, are you?
It's fine. Little bit creaky, but nothing worth worrying about. It looks pretty nice down here. I should show you sometime. This kind of scenery could take someone's breath away, that's for sure.
Come back as quick as you can, okay?
I'm telling you, it's fine. This thing might be old, but that means it's tough and simple, too.
That's not what I mean. We'll be late for school.
Oh, yeah, that.
If my mom finds out that I'm skipping school, she'd be furious.
I sigh. You really are a good girl, aren't you?
Huh? Don't start complimenting me all of a sudden.
Giggling with a strangely elated tone, she ends the transmission. What the heck was that? Gah, that completely broke my concentration. My grandmother was an ocean geologist. She left me a lot in her will. So that's... She probably left him this ship then. Okay, alright, that makes sense. I was gonna say, it seemed like it was probably something that was given to him. His grandmother, huh? Okay. Although her home was flooded, her boat and the submarine that she used for field work weren't taken by the waters. She was obsessed with her research and despised children. Before she died, she poured a significant amount of her savings into something that she locked up in her storehouse. And that's what I'm here to salvage. Oh, okay, interesting. So she didn't leave nothing to him then. He just took this, it seems like. Or did she give this to him? Because if she didn't like kids, it doesn't seem like she would have given him an inheritance. Okay, anyway. There it is. Her house. For a short time, I suppose it was mine too. Ooh. Can he get out? I grasp the controls and steer the sub into the back garden. There, just as I remember, is the storehouse. It's quite big, almost out of keeping with the size of the actual house. My grandmother never let me get close to it. Perhaps she was keeping materials related to her research in there. Now, however, it's the only place I'm interested in. Getting in might be difficult, though. The storehouse's heavy iron doors look to be locked tight. We're going to have to break the doors down. When I give you the signal, wind the winch.
Roger.
I reach the manipulator arm up to undo the crane's hook and attach it to the bar holding the two doors solidly closed. Okay, pull! Dude, this is like a movie, dude. This is sick. The cable winds back swiftly and snaps taut, but the doors don't move an inch. Huh. No dice. Just as I'm about to give the signal to stop, a clang and the sound of creaking metal echo through the water. The door collapses, sending up a billowing cloud of sediment. The resulting opening is large enough for the Serpens albus to fit straight through. Well, looks like that'll do. If I hadn't been able to get these doors open, I would have had to break through the roof, and that could have damaged whatever's inside. Alright. It's been 10 years. Finally time to see what's in here. I orient the sub towards the door and slowly start to push forward. Interesting. The inside of the storehouse is in far better condition than the outside. The walls are lined with bookshelves full of research materials, and measurement buoys and data collection equipment are scattered all over the floor. As a kid, this place would have made the perfect playground. I can picture my grandmother thinking about all the fun children could get up to in here, and scowling as she locked the doors. Probably a wise decision, to be fair. I shine the sub's lights across the room, searching out my target. The fact that I don't actually know what I'm looking for makes that easier said than done, however. It's supposed to be something valuable, but to my untrained eyes, all of the devices in here look like they cost a pretty penny. Crabs and fish skitter around the assorted detritus, fleeing from the torch beams. What the frick? What was that? I notice an odd object as I sweep the lights around. What's that? Huh? It's a large oblong box. Down here in the murky gloom, it almost looks like a sunken sarcophagus. Oh, there's a girl in there. I can see the hair. Slowing down my engine so that my screw drives don't kick up too much sediment, I cautiously approach. Oh my gosh, it is! It's actually a girl! What the heck? It really does seem to be like some kind of casket. It's the perfect size for a single person. Part of the surface seems to be glass. I peer through the gloom. Oh, it is a girl, yo. A mannequin? No, a girl? Inside the capsule is a young girl, as delicate and fragile looking as an antique doll. Strangely, I don't feel even an inkling of fear or discomfort. Maybe it's because this seems so unreal. Or perhaps it's just how adorable she looks. Whatever the case, I have no idea what she really is. There's only one thing I'm sure about. This has to be what I'm here for. Interesting, okay. So she can't be real, right? Because she would be, like, decayed? If this was, like, 8 years ago or 10 years ago or whenever that was. Yeah, I think it was 8 years ago that everything drowned like this and went under the water. What the frick? Okay. What even is this? It looks like it has electricity, but that's all I can really tell from looking at it. I'm going to have to raise the whole thing. I'm not going to be able to manage that with just the manipulator arm. I'll have to rely on the crane. I steer the sub back out of the building and pull the wire out from the remains of the door. Dragging it along behind me, I make my way back to the casket. As I approach it, my hand slips from the control stick, and the sub nudges the case. It's not a hard hit, but for a moment, a chill runs down my spine. I haven't broken it, have I? It doesn't seem like the glass is cracked. Oh, okay. Hi. But the eyes of the girl in the casket have opened. Our gaze meets through the glass. She's alive. I know my voice can't be reaching her, but she tilts her head slightly as if in response. Suddenly, like a bolt of lightning, a name pops into my mind. I heard it once in the hospital, at my grandmother's bedside. Atri. The girl watches the movement of my lips carefully. And she smiles. She really is alive. But what is she? As I sit wondering what to do next, the girl starts to move. She begins to tap away at some panels inside her capsule. What the frick? Oh, she opened it! Oh, what the frick? The glass of the case opens. Up! A great cloud of bubbles billows out as the casket is inundated with water. What are you doing? It seems like she didn't realize that she was underwater. As much as she panics and tries to hammer the controls, there's no closing the glass now. I've got to save her. At that moment, a shadow looms over me. The sudden rush of air from the casket buffets the ceiling of the building, the already water-damaged framework seemingly rattled by my destruction of the doors. The walls start to cave in, and the concrete ceiling cracks. No! I instinctively push the control stick forward. The Serpens albus moans in agony as steel beams collapse on top of it. Thankfully, I've managed to cover the girl from harm. But we're not out of the woods yet. You still gotta get her, up, out of there! This is bad. Am I trapped? I try to put my engine into reverse, but the sub is pinned down under the ceiling. My mind is instantly filled with intense, gruesome memories. I'm buried alive, just like before. My body is quickly coated in an ice-cold sweat, and pain throbs through the spot where my leg should be. As the weight above me seems to bear down on my very soul, my eyes meet the girl's. She stares at me with a strange look, as if she doesn't realize the danger that she's in. I've got to save her! Grasping the controls, I try to find the hook of the crane to affix it to the sub, but it's nowhere to be found. Did it come off in the impact? I try to peer around the floor, but my manipulator arms couldn't reach down there even if I did see it, and the sub can't move an inch. What do I do? Pain and panic surges through my brain, and I feel my consciousness grow distant. Oh my gosh. Just as I'm about to black out, I see the girl jump from the casket. She reaches down and lifts up a glimmering silver object. The hook. Please, give that to me. She tilts her head to the side and stares. She places the hook in the fingers of my manipulator. I quickly attach it to the sub's frame. Hey! Can you hear me up there?
What's up?
Wind the winch! Quick!
What was that? Speak up, kid. What's going on? Is something wrong, Natsukan?
Wind the winch! Now!
Wait a second. If we do that...
If they don't do it this instant, I'm going to end up completely crushed.
Okay. Oof. What are you doing, you stupid girl?
I grab the girl from the casket in the manipulator arm. She stares impassively at me through the window, unfazed by the metal gripper around her waist. Isn't she scared? If anything, she looks particularly relaxed. Why isn't she struggling for breath right now? I'm thrown from my seat from the sudden acceleration as the winch pulls taut, the sub creaking painfully as the ceiling pinning it down scrapes against it. Phew. I thought that we were going to capsize. Jeez, this girl.
Ah, there he is.
Huh. Sure looks like he's in a hurry. That must mean we've hit the jackpot. When the hull breaks the water, I fling open the hatch. Crawling out, I head toward the ship's fore.
What are you doing, Natsu-kun? That's dangerous.
Hey, you're gonna fall in. You can't swim with that leg, can you? If I don't hurry, the girl's going to die.
What girl?
Minamo suddenly notices the body held between the manipulator's claws.
Who is that?
The girl is floating face down, unmoving, her body limp. I crawl towards her and thrust out my hand. Grab hold! Quickly! She doesn't move. Maybe she's unconscious. I push myself off of the sub's hull, trying to make my way over to her. But as my foot drives against the rusty metal, I feel it shudder beneath me. What? Oh, frick! Did she go in? My leg catches against the framework, my prosthetic leg, which tears away from my body. I fall into the water and sink beneath the surface. Oh, he fell in. Stunned, I gaze up at the soft morning light glimmering through the osier. It's beautiful. Perhaps it's because I instantly realize the hopelessness of my plight, but I'm surprisingly calm. My clothes are heavy with water. My one leg doesn't even attempt to keep me afloat. Opening myself to the soft embrace of the cool, radiant light, I let myself be taken by the depths. So this is how I die. At least I'm going to die somewhere beautiful. I'd rather my last breath fill my lungs with water than darkness. As I gaze in wonder at the shimmering light, like a million jewels enveloping my body, a shadow starts to form within them. It grows and grows, blocking all that beauty from my view. Stop it. Don't take the light away. The darkness scares me. Ah! The shadow bears down on me, and I feel a strange sensation against my lips. I see clearly now. The shadow is the girl. What is she doing? She's sinking with me, pushing air into my mouth from her own. As I feel her gift of oxygen fill my lungs, a terrible thought begins to float through my mind. I don't want to die. I came to this town because I had lost everything. I thought I had no reason to live anymore. And yet, I do not want to die. What a selfish, greedy creature a human can be, to want to live on without reason. But now, there's no way back. I'm sorry. I dragged you into this. If she hadn't tried to save me, she could have lived on. But even with her breath sustaining me, my only remaining leg can do nothing to keep us from falling into the darkness. A plume of bubbles erupts from her mouth as she tries to say something. Not wishing to waste more air, she quickly presses her mouth back to mine and points upward. Huh? Through the shining water comes a shape. A thin, long line connecting us to the light. A rope. I grasp hold of it and wrap my other arm around the girl. Whoa! I collapse on the ship's deck, basking in the sheer joy of breathing freely once more.
Ah! That was so scary! I thought you were going to die, Natsu-kun!
Thanks for the help, Minamo.
No. That wasn't me.
Couldn't let my meal ticket get away, now could I? She holds up the rope with a grin. I don't have the energy to snap at her like I normally would. For once, I'm grateful for her debt collector instincts. So, I suppose I should ask, who's the girl? She's sitting next to me, soaking wet, seemingly unfazed. She's still holding the sleeve of my shirt in her hand. Her grip is firm, as if she's trying to stop me jumping into the sea again. Thank you.
There is no need to thank me. I was merely carrying out my innate duty.
What a strange phrasing.
Where did she come from? She wasn't with you when you dived, was she?
I found her down there. She was sleeping in my grandmother's storehouse.
What? Sleeping?
I think she might be a robot. Wait, what? Really?
That is a common colloquial term for the category of equipment I belong to. However, it is imprecise.
Dude, not another robot story that's gonna make me cry. Dude, please. I can't handle another one. You can't do it to me, man. Please, I'm begging you. Please, don't give me another one that's gonna make me cry. I don't want it. Please. Let's keep going. I need to know what happens. She's not human. She's just a robot in the shape of a human.
She must be a humanoid. Your grandmother was keeping a thing like this down there all this time?
Humanoids. Robots intended to resemble humans as much as possible. Also marked as androids, or gynoids? Okay, I've never heard that term. Depending on the manufacturer. Humanoids were produced en masse when humanity's technological progress was at its peak, and their construction was so advanced that they were indistinguishable from humans. They don't need to breathe, but their vocal systems are intended to replicate the human voice box. Naturally, that means they need a pair of lungs, or at least something resembling them to hold air. I owe my life to that particular design quirk.
She's a robot? Wow! I couldn't tell at all. Of course not. I'm an extremely high-performance model.
Phew! We really struck the jackpot. This thing will sell for a pretty penny.
What? You're going to sell her? Of course. Selling it's the reason we salvaged it. Humanoids are pretty thin on the ground these days. If we sell it, he'll be able to pay off Professor Yachigusa's debts, and then some. But, isn't that kinda cruel? It's like,
Minamo looks back and forth between Catherine and the robot. Somehow, I don't think she'd have the same kind of reaction if she was looking at any other piece of industrial machinery. But to the untrained eye, this girl looks just like a human being.
Yes, that is not possible. See? She thinks so too.
Look at her pose.
I am the private property of my master. It is against the law to sell me without permission.
Your master? Ah, Professor Yachigusa. Your master died a month ago.
Oh.
This town sunk into the rising seas 3 years ago. You've been asleep down there for all that time. The robot counts to 3 on her fingers. A look of realization dawns on her face.
Oh. So my master is dead. I see. Rip.
Rip, dude, what the frick? She a little memester? What the frick?
She, doesn't seem very upset.
Well, it's a robot. Saying that, even this level of emotion marks it out as a pretty expensive model. Don't you worry, though. Your new master's right here. This kid here got all the professor's stuff in her will.
The robot girl turns to me and peers closely at my face. I love this music, by the way. That was a perfect little, jump into this music. This is beautiful music, I have to say.
I see. So you're...
Yeah. I suppose I'm your master now.
For some reason, I felt like that was the case from the very first time I saw you, under the water. I should have known.
She speaks with a strange air of conviction. She tugs on my sleeve again. She looks like a kid who's just found her dad. I wonder if a sufficiently advanced robot without a master experiences the same fears a lost child would.
What should I call you? I will adjust my speech protocols accordingly. Popular options include Master, Sir, Big Bro, Daddy.
Frickin' Daddy, no, dude, nah. Just call me Natsuki. That's so good. I abruptly cut her off before she says something I really don't want to have in my head. Ikaruga Natsuki. That's my name.
Natsuki.
And what do I call you?
Would you like to confirm my serial number?
She reaches behind her head to lift up her hair. Her serial number must be on the back of her neck. No, I'm asking if you have a name. I wouldn't be surprised if that old bag never gave her one.
My name is Atri. My master gave it to me.
Atri. That's a nice name. The words slip out of my mouth without thinking.
I know, right? Being given a human name is proof of being recognized as a living being. It's a marker of status.
Dude, she's so lively. I love her. Oh my gosh, I thought she was going to be kind of more like Yumimi, but she's not. She's very lively. I mean, Yumimi was lively too, but she had more of a robotic element to her. She doesn't have as much of a robotic element. This is kind of cool. Robots think of names in that way? I'd never considered that before.
Ah, Natsuki is a pretty nice name too, I suppose.
Are you patronizing me?
Error. I do not understand the word patronizing.
She looks up at me with a blank expression. It's probably my imagination, but there seems to be a glint of mischief in her young, delicate eyes. Then again, maybe it's just a reflection of the midday sun. I think back to the lights that I saw underwater. After staring at me for a while, Atori suddenly smiles. It's a smile so soft and gentle that I have the sudden wish to capture this moment in amber for eternity.
Take good care of me, Natsuki-san.